to meet you. I'm really Min. I'm glad to meet you through K-Drama Cookbook. And I'm so happy to introduce Korean food to you. Now, I will show you how to cook bulgogi. Bulgogi has been loved by most of Koreans so far since the ancient time. It is one of the famous Korean food not only for Koreans but also around the world. Previous US President Barack Obama, well known as a fan of Korean cuisine, cited bulgogi as one of his favorite choices. I think you also have eaten bulgogi once or more, right? From now on, you can make bulgogi easily and simply and enjoy it at home. Let's get started. If the meat is too chewy, put some rice wine or fruit to make it tender. In Korea, we use pear juice to soften the meat. Of course, we can use kiwi or pineapple instead of pear. But kiwi and pineapple have a strong tenderizing effect than pear. So put it only a half amount than pear juice. First, let me introduce the main ingredients for bulgogi. 500 g of beef, 1 piece about 200 g of onion, 1/3 piece about 70 g of carrot, 50 g of small green onions, 5 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2.5 tablespoons of sugar, 2.5 tablespoons of cooking wine, 2 tablespoons of finely chopped green onion, 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, 1.5 tablespoon of sesame oil, 1 tablespoon of sesame seed, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, 2 tablespoons of ground kiwi. Good part of beef for bulgogi is ribeye or loin part. Slice meat very thin. When you buy the beef, please order them sliced into thin size. Remove excess blood from the beef with a paper towel. Cut the beef into bite-sized pieces. Cut onion halves. Before slicing onion, remove root part first so that it is easy to separate the segment. Slice thinly. Shred carrot thinly. Cut spring onion into 2-inch long pieces. Let's prepare the seasoning. Combine seasonings in a bowl. Mix well. Mix the beef, vegetables with the seasoning. Then leave them for 1 hour in refrigerator. Heat up the pan and stir fry over high heat. Enjoy bulgogi. You can make delicious sandwich by putting bulgogi in croissant, tortilla, and pita bread.
First, boil water on your cooker. I am using my favorite ramyeon cooker, my Bear multi-cooker. Steam your seafood until it changes color. For this recipe, you can choose any seafood ramyeon of choice. But today, for variety, I am using kalguksu. Kalguksu are flat noodles. This one with an anchovy soup base. It comes out delicious. These are my kalguksu noodles. See, they're nice and flat. Add your seasoning pack. Some squid ink. A little bit of chili powder. And cook this according to the desired doneness of the noodle. And I like cooking my ramyeon for no more than 1 minute because it continues to cook in the hot soup. Garnish with your seafood. Add your soup. Finish with a little sesame oil. Finish with a little bit of sesame seeds. A little green onions. Spring onions over there. Some microgreens. These are my microgreens from Runtian Farms. Beautiful. Here is my kalguksu. A twist to Lily's seafood ramyeon.
안녕하세요. I'm Young Ah-in, the new director of Korean Culture Center in the Philippines. Today, I'd like to congratulate Chef Reggie Aspiras and our teacher Willie Min on K-Drama Cookbook. Even if I'm Korean, I'm not good at making Korean food. This is a big challenge for me. So I am so excited to learn and try to make a Korean food in the K-Drama Cookbook. Congratulations once again, Chef Leslie and Ms. Lily. I hope everyone who will get your book also enjoy cooking Korean food. Thank you.
The K-Drama Cookbook is a book that contains all your most beloved K-drama recipes. You know, when you watch Korean dramas and then they're eating all these little things, their street food, what they eat at home, the things that you have come to love and you've adapted from watching your favorite Korean novella. And I guess it's a book like no other simply because aside from Lily's traditional and very easy to follow instructions, I come in and make it a little more friendly for the Filipino palate. We play around with it so that from one recipe alone, there are probably 70 ways to do it. I mean, from 36 recipes which are in the book, there's more than one way to do it. In some, I have 2 or 3 edits. So there are going to be so many ways to cook one particular dish because at the end of the day, as they say, good food is when you enjoy it and the way you like it.
I met Chef Reggie in 2018 at Korean Culture Center in Bonifacio. When I had a special cooking class about Chuseok, it's a Korean Thanksgiving Day. She joined the class to cover the event. Chef Reggie is very cheerful and passionate. When we talk about food, we could relate to many things. We are very close from that time. In my case, I hope to introduce Korean cuisine around the world. And Chef Reggie wants to introduce Korean cuisine to Filipino who are interested in Korean food. So we planned this cookbook.
Well, Lily basically shared all her recipes, how to prepare the food in an authentic manner. It's 100% Korean and traditional. If you know Lily, you know that her style is very, very traditional, very pristine, very clean, very old-fashioned.
Thank you.
And that's really a compliment. I mean, she takes care of her food from start to finish. Every single process is like, to Lily, is an art form. And I met her for the first time during Chuseok, and I don't know, from there we just became very good friends. So the collaboration started from there. Together we did so many things in between. And then we started to write this cookbook. For some strange reason, we just said, Lily, come on, let's write a cookbook. Because I really felt that Lily, it was time for Lily to be known, Lily's talent to be known in the Philippines. I mean, people had to taste her food. She really cooks real, authentic Korean food. And me, what I do, like I told you, is that I play around with the food, give it my own spin, my own twist. You know, that one of the things that I love to do is to play around and to enjoy myself in the kitchen. That is what I think have contributed to the book. And I wrote this book simply because I fell in love with Korean dramas and their culture.
In Korea, we have many different type of food, such as royal cuisine, temple food, occasional food, and so on. Among them, I choose lists that are well known to the public via K-drama, or dishes those are enjoyed by Filipino eaten at least one or more at Korean restaurant. After you have this book, I hope that the special Korean food become your daily food.
Because I think in the past year, especially during quarantine, we have become, as a nation, more Korean than ever. If there's any cuisine right now, I think that's most relevant for the Filipino, I think it's Korean cuisine. That is a shared cuisine because of our appreciation for their culture through their drama and also through their food.
So when you try, first try the cook from this book, you will be unfamiliar with ingredients and cooking method. So in front of page of this book, I introduce some general tip and cooking tip. Please first read these tips carefully. And if you follow step by step, you can cook easily. After you try this, you will find that Korean food easier than you think. Good luck to you. Please try first.
Why did I pursue a Korean cookbook? So that I learn to cook well for the time when I have an oppa. Lily,
Yeah?
where is my oppa?
In Korea. Don't worry. Next time when you visit there, I will introduce you.
Oh, you'll be surprised. So many things are now locally available. Most of the things that we have here on the book, or most of the ingredients, are available. If you noticed, like in my area alone, not more than 10 minutes away from me, there are 3 Korean stores. And I think that is so everywhere in the country. There are big ones along Cartimar, and further, like along Pasig, there's so many. So I don't think ingredient or finding specific ingredients are much of a problem, except of course if we talk about the seasonal produce of Korea. As you very well know, the Koreans eat according to the season. So a lot of the things that they eat are actually what is at season's prime given a certain time. So that we might have a problem with. But for most part, the recipes in this book, you can prepare them all.
For me, actually, nearby my place, there are many Korean grocery. So I don't know there is where you located, but in like Jinmart,
it's very big mart and very cheap. So I know that, and maybe even small grocery you can buy all grocery at there. So don't worry, because we use very basic ingredient. Just few item cannot find easily, but almost all ingredient can find very easily at the Korean grocery.
Yes, there are even a lot of online Korean stores, grocery providers of ingredients. And this I follow as a golden rule. When I cook a certain cuisine, I make sure that my ingredients are from that specific country of origin so that my flavor and taste profiles will change. So for example, if I cook Korean, I have to use Korean soy sauce, I have to use Korean sesame oil, I have to use Korean sesame seeds. The more authentic and the truer you are to the source of the ingredient, the more authentic your food will taste. So for me, I think if I cook Korean, I can't live without Korean soy sauce, the different kinds of Korean soy sauce. I can't live without good quality sesame oil. And of course, their pastes, their bean pastes and their chili pastes. That's for me.
Soy sauce and soybean paste and chili paste is always we very use these three condiments. If you prepare these three kinds of condiments, maybe you can make many Korean food. So sweet soup also, there are many versions. So, but I introduced one in this book, so you can follow that the brown sweet soup is called miyeokguk. Then you can celebrate you and your family. The kimchi also very good protect the COVID. So and also it's very good to digest.
It's even said to ward off certain types of cancer, right, Lily?
Of course.
It makes you lose weight. It keeps you young. It's very good for your skin. Fermented food is actually very healthy and very good for the body. And if you're a health enthusiast, you know that this aside from another one being sauerkraut, are two of the best food dishes to eat if you want to stay strong and healthy. And kimchi is, of course, on top of it. Oh, in my case, I used a lot of my wine. My wine is Philippine rice wine. It's made out of Philippine ingredients and Philippine rice. I used a lot of that in my edits and my tweaks. I also used our patis, our fish sauce, instead of the Korean fish sauce. And what else did I do? Oh, another thing that I added, it's not a condiment though, but another thing that I played around with, especially in the soups, was to incorporate our most nutritious greens. In Korea, they eat a lot of greens in season. They eat a lot of ferns. Right, Lily? A lot of ferns, a lot of greens, a lot of things that they pick from the mountains at certain times of the year. While we are not lucky to have what they have, we are lucky to have what we have. So I added, in my edits, I put a lot of saluyot, malunggay, dahon ng sili, alugbati, all dahon ng talbos ng kamote, talbos ng kangkong. All these leafy greens are so healthy for you. So if you cannot find like certain ferns that they recommend in the recipe, you can always go Filipino. So use that and it's just as healthy. Not all their food is spicy. Their food is so diverse, right, Lily? Many dishes are not spicy.
Yeah. Actually, the Korean food is not spicy.
Yeah. There are a few that are spicy, but if you know the range of their food, which is many, it's really not spicy, right, Lily?
Yes, of course. So Korean, actually, for Korean, royal cuisine food is not spicy. So only limited some food is spicy, but many foreigners like the spicy food. That's why they think the Korean food is spicy, and the kimchi and something is spicy, but it's limited. There are very big range of the Korean food. It's never spicy. It's very mild and very delicious, right?
Because their food really, and the way they cook their food is allowing you to discover each and every ingredient and the natural flavors of whatever ingredient they put into their food. We, on the other hand, like our food seasoned. We like it malinamnam, malasa. And I guess that's the reason why you should buy and cook from this book, is because you can put a little spice, more salt, less salt, and do it the way you want it.
I think everyone is here is interested in Korean culture and cuisine. Thank you very much. I had a good and wonderful time with you. I will try to introduce easier and more delicious Korean dishes. Thank you again. 마라미 살라마포. 감사합니다. 사랑합니다.
You all know that I'm grateful, right? Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me, for praying for us. Thank you for this launch. And what else can I say? God is good. How do we say to God be the glory?
하나님께 영광을 올려드립니다.
To God be the glory. And to our sponsors, thank you very much to my Bear family. Thank you so much for all the prizes that you've given us this afternoon to share with all those who attended the launch. And of course, thank you so much to my Converge family. My Zoom meeting this afternoon is powered by Converge. Thank you, Converge.